So IUL has become crazy popular nowadays. I hear literal feedback from agents and questions from agents about selling IUL and how to sell IUL constantly. Now, I'm gonna kick this off. I'm gonna go through 3 things specifically that you need to know to make sure that when you're selling IUL, you're selling it correctly and that you're actually benefiting your clients long term. There are good ways to sell IUL and there are bad ways to sell IUL. I am not an IUL product savant by any means, so I'm saying it up front. However, one of my buddies in the industry just gave me 3 specific things recently in a phone conversation, about a 40-minute conversation, I think it was, literally just a few days ago, and it pertained to IUL. Also, at any point as I'm going through this, if you would love to learn more about our IUL leads and our IUL appointments, where we actually replace no-shows, you can learn more about both of those at kaboomleads.com. That is, I say boom a lot, kaboomleads.com. Okay, so let me get into the 3 things that you need to know. And I'm curious to your thoughts, by the way, as we go through this video. I would love some comments. Again, I'm not the freaking greatest IUL person in the world. However, dude, I've got some big time big wigs and friends who crush it with IUL. Also, I feel like IUL, by the way, is becoming one of the more mainstream products in the world today because of the amount of ads. And a lot of people are comparing IUL to 401k and trying to convince a more traditional 401k investors and companies to actually convert over into investing into an IUL instead. And there's definitely pros and cons of that for sure, okay? But I'm not gonna go through that in this video. I'm gonna go through 3 things that you need to know when you are selling IUL, okay? The first, it has to do with COI, okay, which stands for cost of insurance. I'm even gonna grab my phone and even walk through some notes as I'm sharing this, okay? One thing about cost of insurance is that it goes up every year for the most part, okay? Cost of insurance goes up, okay? I want you to think about this because yes, the goal is to invest in a tax-free retirement account to grow so that later on in retirement, like I own an IUL personally, okay? Spend close to $1,000 a month investing in my retirement down the road. But I'm doing that so that obviously that portion of it grows, but because it's still a life insurance policy, there's a cost of insurance still associated with it. Well, the cost of insurance, like insurance as you get older, goes up inside of the IUL, something to be aware of. And this is subject, we'll put a little, that's a star, maybe an asterisk would have been better, but you know, I don't know that I know how to do that either. An asterisk, that it's subject, a lot of this is subject to different insurance companies. I've had insurance carriers that send me an email like, hey, you need to take down this video because price is important. And I'm like, dude, it's important, but it's nothing compared to value, rapport, and taking care of your client. You're never selling down to the penny anyway. And what's funny is the company that told me, the carrier that told me to take down the video that said, hey, price does matter. They weren't even the cheapest on the market anyway. So, and I'm like, bro, if price was the only thing that mattered, people wouldn't sell your product. Let's be honest, okay? That's a side note, but kind of funny. Also, cost of insurance goes up a lot when you start to get into your 50s and 60s, okay, and beyond as someone gets older. That's important because a tax-free retirement account can grow a lot, and then later the cost of insurance could start eating some of that up if you don't think through some of these things properly, okay? And you need to, so I was also told about this recently. These are some new things for me too, and I'm like learning, so I'm curious your feedback. But I know this gentleman sells, 7 figures a year worth of like actual good insurance to high net worth individuals, and I know he knows his stuff. He says that you should never stop paying premiums so that you can continue to cover the cost of insurance. Okay, so number 1, cost of insurance. Number 2 has to do with loans, okay, like loan provisions, okay. The loan, what I'm being told as well, again, every carrier is different. I'm just giving you some general good information that you should be aware of, is that loan rates are variable, right? I feel like I'm texting now with the R. Are variable. What that means is, right, they can change loan rates later, right? Can change later. You're not buying an IUL so that you can take out a bunch of loans throughout the life of the policy. I know people sell that you can do that. I'm simply saying they're buying an IUL so that later on in their 60s, 70s, maybe late 50s, whatever, they're able to take a tax-free distribution from the retirement account as income to supplement their retirement. This is also typically not meant to be their only retirement source, even though most agents also sell it that way. Okay, again, loans. Okay, when it comes to loans, the loan rates are typically variable, okay, which is important, and they can go, the actual rate can increase later, right? And that companies can actually do that. That's good to know. Okay, I'm also not trying to shy you away from selling IULs. I'm just trying to share information that I'm being told that I want you to be aware of. Okay, again, I'm not a savant when it comes to products anyway. Dude, I'm a marketing guy. I'm a sales training guy, right? I've never been like a product savant that studies flipping underwriting guides, okay? Third has to do with performance, okay? It can have you can get a 0, okay? Everybody's selling that there's there's 0 risk, okay? It's funny because everything typically has some level of risk naturally. However, can the floor of a IUL product be 0? Let's just say S&P 500 gives a negative 18%, okay? Can the policy be credited with a 0 and actually receive a 0 and not the negative 18%? Yes. However, you still have to pay for cost of insurance, as we talked about earlier. What does that mean? That if a policy gets a 0 on a down year, okay, which is good, there's some security there, that's great, they're still having to pay the cost of insurance, which means the account could actually go backwards, okay, because you have to pay for cost of insurance, okay, which is important. Also, what I'm being told, a good way to sell an IUL, again, this part I just learned about as well. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool, is that you should reduce the death benefit down the road. Well, why would that make sense? It would make sense to reduce the death benefit down the road simply because cost of insurance goes up way more in your 50s and 60s, but if the cost of, but if you're the actual death benefit is going down, because if you have the same death benefit and premiums are going up, okay, same death benefit, premiums are going up. However, if you have a reducing death benefit as your premiums are going up, that will actually start to stabilize the cost of insurance, okay? Just a different way of thinking. At the end of the day, I'm not saying that, you know, I don't believe in IUL, because I do. I think there's a place for it. I think if it's sold correctly, it is great. I think the fact that it's going mainstream is cool. I do know that there are individuals that are selling IUL as like the end all be all, the only option on the planet. And I love it, okay? I'm a believer in it. I own one. I think it's really cool. I think it's good for our industry. I just think that with anything, this could be true for final expense, Medicare, whatever, there are people that sell things correctly and people that sell things incorrectly, or people that just are doing it for a paycheck versus actually taking care of the client and doing things the right way, okay? Also, we have different trainers that actually come in and teach some of this stuff in our academy at ultimateagentacademy.com. So if you're newer to the industry or newer to different products, I coach every Monday live, not super product specific. However, we bring in millionaire trainers every other Wednesday inside of our academy to help our members with additional knowledge around different types of products. You can go to ultimateagentacademy.com, $49 a month, and be a part of our academy, and we can help you grow in our community. Also, these were 3 things to actually really information to help you better at selling IUL and just knowing more about IUL. There are a bunch of different ways to get in front of prospects when it comes to IUL. We have IUL leads, premium types of leads, and IUL appointments that are both available at kaboomleads.com. We could also help you build your own lead generation campaign and actually manage an ad for you as well. One is, hey, I just want leads or appointments. One is, dude, I want to get appointments and leads at cost, and I want to use my brand, and Cody, I want your team to manage it for me. For that, you can go to codyaskins.com/lead-gen. One's ad management related. Hey, we'll manage your ads on your page. Cool. We'll get you leads at cost. Great. Or, dude, I just want to buy them. Kaboomleads.com. Perfect. Either way, I like IUL. I love what it's doing for our industry. It is taking off. It is going mainstream. I'm seeing IUL everywhere. We actually had an agent that got a lead the other night, one of our IUL leads. And the lady on the other end of the phone said, yeah, I was at work. We were talking about retirement and 401k, and a guy came up to me at work that wasn't an insurance agent, that was also an employee hanging out at a company with me, and they said, you should look into an IUL. Person wasn't even licensed, but it's becoming so mainstream. The person's like, you should look into an IUL. And the agent's like, yes, you should. And then they were able to help that consumer prospect with an indexed universal life. Hope you have an amazing time selling IUL. If you'd love to learn more, we are here to help in any way we can. And I'm going to keep trying to do different types of videos, even though I'm not a product savant, still know enough to be dangerous. And I promise you, I can still sell it. Okay. But make sure that you're doing the right thing. And if we can help you with anything, please let us know. Let me know in comments below what you thought of this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Yeah, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.